But we are challenging the specifically Darwinian idea that life is the result of a purely undirected process that mimics the powers of a designing intelligence. About a year ago, Richard Dawkins was here from Oxford University. Dawkins is famous for saying that biology is the study of complicated things that give the appearance of having been designed for a purpose. We take the opposite view. We think that things really were designed. They don't just appear to be designed, and we think that the scientific evidence supports that conclusion. The theory of intelligent design holds that there are certain features of the universe and of living systems that are best explained by an intelligent cause rather than an undirected natural process. Well, the kind of features we're talking about are things that have been discovered in science over the last half century. The fine-tuning of the laws of physics and chemistry in the area of physics. The exquisite nanotechnology that has been discovered inside cells, the miniature machines, the engines, the sliding clamps, the protein copy machines, and little rotary engines. The reams and reams of digital code that's stored inside DNA and transmitted in RNA. And these are features that we think are best explained by an intelligent cause rather than a purely undirected process. Now, in saying that, it's important to understand what we're not saying. We're not necessarily challenging the idea of evolution per se, at least as defined as change over time or even common ancestry.
You specifically compare advocates of intelligent design who would question Darwinian evolution. You compare them to Holocaust deniers. Why do you believe that that is an apt comparison?
Not so much intelligent design. My comparison is with what I call history deniers, to people who deny the history of the world and claim that the world is only 6,000 years old. That was my actual comparison.
And I want to come back to some of the promotional material that's been released from your book, which very specifically talks about intelligence design in the context of Holocaust
Yes,
denial.
indeed. Yes.
Yeah, and which you'll agree, that's unfair.
Oh, what's unfair?
That it's unfair to equate advocates of intelligent design with Holocaust deniers.
Yes, of course it is, and I didn't do that. I compared Holocaust deniers to young Earth creationists.
Let us go to Bruce in Seattle. Bruce, you're on the Michael Medved Show with Professor Dawkins.
Well, thank you for taking my call. First of all, Dr. Dawkins, is Bruce Chapman from Discovery Institute calling. Most of the time, I hear straw man arguments about intelligent design. Your new book apparently doesn't really deal with intelligent design, but it seems to me that in your previous book you said it's a question of science, that it is a scientific argument. I congratulate you for that. But if it is, how about having a debate with Stephen Meyer, who is the author of another new book, The Signature in the Cell, which deals with this question, and have this in a respectful, civilized, scholarly fashion where you look at the scientific arguments pro and con.
Now, when you say that I don't deal with intelligent design, I do, because I deal with creationism, and, of course, intelligent design is simply another name for creationism.
Well, if it's another name for creationism, why do you distinguish between creationism and intelligent design very early in this program? But I think the thing that you really ought to consider, in all seriousness, is that there is, by your own definition, there is a scientific argument. Put that scientific argument to the test, not with somebody who's, a straw man that you bring up, but have somebody like Meyer, who has written a very scholarly book, to actually debate this topic with you, or just have a discussion about it.
All right, the proposal's on the table. Response from Professor Dawkins. Thank you, Bruce.
I will have a discussion with somebody who has a genuinely different scientific point of view. I have never come across any form of creationism, whether you call it intelligent design or not, which has a serious scientific case to put. The objection to having debates with people like that is that it gives them a kind of respectability. If a real scientist goes onto a debating platform with a creationist, it gives a kind of respectability which I do not think that your people have earned.